The day Adrien confessed to the gorgeous transfer student. Everyone assumed I'd crash the scene, hysterical, begging, making a spectacle. But I never showed. Adrien had no idea that, at that exact moment, I was swimming inside his roommate's hoodie, sitting on his roommate's bed, asking with the picture of innocence, "I got your sheets wet, where am I supposed to sleep tonight?" Ethan looked away, his Adam's apple jerking, and flung me a towel. "Go dry your hair. I'll change the bedding, then you can use the bed." Before we go on, smash that subscribe button and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. Adrien was about to lay his heart at the feet of the pretty new girl. He'd tipped off the whole gang to keep me in the dark. Too bad the gossip brigade couldn't wait to spill. Everyone on campus knew I'd been crushing on Adrien since forever, dreaming of the day I'd take his last name. This time, the rumor mill insisted, it was the real deal, love at first sight. They expected me to stage a full-blown meltdown, tears, tantrums, maybe even a fake fainting spell. Who doesn't love front row seats to romantic carnage? The crowd waited for me to implode and storm the stage. But the confession wrapped up without so much as a glimpse of me. 3 layers of onlookers deep, and the energy flatlined. Adrien himself looked less than triumphant. Arms slung around his new girl, he pulled out his phone. No missed calls, no texts. His brows pinched. Then he shrugged and announced, "Tonight's on me, drinks for everyone." Cheers erupted. Only then did I step out from behind the trees. Someone spotted me and shrieked, "Luna! Luna's here. Told you, no way she could stay away." Adrien's head snapped up. When our eyes met, the corner of his mouth twitched in a barely there smirk. I ignored the rubberneckers and walked straight to Adrien. "Luna." He tugged his brand new girlfriend closer. Voice flat, he said, "Feelings aren't something you can force. We've known each other forever. I don't want to be cruel and ruin what's left. I'll still treat you like a little sister. If you ever need anything, you can still come to me." Then, low enough for only me, "We've got an audience, don't make a scene. Go home." Adrien. I cut him off and took one slow step forward. He frowned harder. "Luna, behave." I smiled, slipped the bracelet off my wrist, and held it out. "I only came to return this." His face darkened the instant he recognized it. "What game are you playing now? Take it back. After today, I won't bother you again." He stared, voice dropping to a chill. "I don't care about the money. If you don't want it, toss it." The second the words left his mouth, I pivoted and pitched the bracelet into the nearest trash can. "All the other stuff I gave you, throw that away too." Without another glance, I turned and left. Adrien stayed where he was until I disappeared from sight. His expression stayed sour. A buddy patted his back. "Relax, she's just saving face. Bet she'll be digging through that garbage tonight, sobbing." Adrien snorted. "Let her drama run its course. If our parents didn't expect us to play nice, I wouldn't waste another second. Come on, man, party tonight, don't let her wreck the vibe." Adrien glanced at the knockout beside him and filed Luna under later. Tomorrow morning, he figured, she'd be camped outside the dorm, latte in hand, begging to walk to class together like always. Same script, different day. For by the time I reached Riverside, rain was bucketing down. I opened my umbrella and replayed the dreams that had haunted me, visions of me losing it over Adrien and Sienna, threatening to jump, actually jumping. Result, I almost drowned. Adrien spent 5 whole minutes at my hospital bedside before walking out for good. The Vance family decided I was worthless embarrassment, yanked me out of school, and shipped me back to my deadbeat bio parents. Life nosedived. I died broke and alone overseas. The guy who collected my broken body and gave me a proper burial? Ethan, the one I'd always kept at arm's length. While Adrien honeymooned in bliss, never once looking back. Every beat of those nightmares had come true in real life, except the ending. Grateful doesn't cover it, those dreams felt like a second chance. On the 3rd ring, he picked up. I hugged the phone to my ear, heart hammering. His name rolled over my tongue like a secret. "Ethan?" Rain roared around me, washing the world white. His voice, low and half asleep, cut through the downpour. "Luna?" "Ethan, it's raining like crazy. I'm stuck at Riverside, can you come get me?" Silence stretched long enough for my palms to sweat around the umbrella handle. In the dream, when Ethan gathered what was left of me, he'd cried. Each tear scorched the rotting flesh and bone I'd become, and even in death I felt the burn. Later, he carried a vial of my ashes everywhere, alone for the rest of his life. Tears slipped free, I sniffled. "Why are you crying?" he asked, tone flat, almost irritated. "Didn't say I wouldn't come." "How long?" "Give me 20. Okay. I'll wait." Ethan. Click. 15 minutes later, I handed my umbrella to a mom shielding her kid. So when Ethan's car slid to the curb, I was drenched. He climbed out, jaw clenched, eyes arctic. I slicked my dripping bangs back and beamed. Right on time. Idiot, he muttered, yanking me into the passenger seat and flinging a thick fleece blanket at me. Dry off, don't soak the leather. He checked the rear view, spun the wheel, and merged back into traffic. Yes, sir. I cocooned myself and peeked at his profile. Blank expression, classic untouchable Ethan. Half the girls on campus swoon, none dare confess. He's Adrien's roommate. I used to drop by all the time, and he always acted like my presence offended him. Even now, cold glare, iron grip that left red bracelets on my wrists, nothing about him screamed secret admirer. I lowered my lashes. Dreams don't lie, but I'd already bent the timeline. What if I'd broken the part where he falls for me? What if I'm just a hassle he never asked for? Back to your dorm? He asked without turning. My heart rabbit punched my ribs. Your dorm. 6, he snorted. Adrien's pulling an all-nighter with his new girl. I know. I twisted the blanket fringe. I'm not looking for him. The car jerked to the shoulder. He twisted to face me, frost in his eyes. Don't drag me into your soap opera. I'm not. He grabbed his phone. I'll call you a ride. Ethan, I snatched the cell and hid it behind my back. Luna. No anger, just a bottomless stare that made my chest ache. I can't face the girls in my dorm, they're already laughing. And I can't go home. Can I please crash in your room tonight? If you hate the idea, just say no. A tear rolled off my chin for punctuation. Still no word from him. But he shifted into drive and headed for campus, stopping under his dorm window. 7 inside, he pulled a clean hoodie from his dresser and pointed. Bathroom's there. The thing hung to mid-thigh on me, basically a dress. I towel-dried my hair, then perched on his bed. Water dripped from the ends, blooming dark spots on the sheet. Everything on me smelled like his soap and shampoo now, an intimacy no one had asked for. He palmed a cigarette. Need air, he muttered, escaping to the balcony. I snooped a little, charcoal comforter, tidy desk, closed laptop. My phone buzzed, Adrien, twice in a row. I silenced it and stuffed it back in my bag. Ethan, I called. He stubbed the cigarette and came in. What? From the bed I had to tilt my head way back. He looked everywhere but at me, his ears were on fire. I soaked your bed, where am I supposed to sleep? His gaze flicked from me to the damp patches, throat working. He pivoted, snatched a towel. Dry your hair. I'll change the sheets, then you crash. He yanked fresh linen from the closet. Hair dry, I returned to find the bed remade. All yours, he said. What about you? He dropped into his desk chair, shoving headphones on. Gaming. Oh. I sat, deflated. Headphones halfway to his ears, his phone rang. He glanced at the screen, then at me, before answering. Adrien, what's up? My pulse stalled. Yeah, I'm home. Someone thinks they saw Luna head into our building? He looked straight at me. Before he could out me, I slid onto his lap, arms looping his neck. Tell him I'm not here, I whispered against his ear. Under my fingertips his skin burned, a tendon corded in his neck. Hard hammering against my ribs, he swallowed hard. Nah, I've been here solo. She never showed, check with someone else. He hung up and tossed the phone aside. Both hands slid under the hoodie to grip my waist. He snapped the clasp shut and folded me hard against his chest. I felt the scorching volcano inside him, vivid and pulsing. A high-pitched ring burst in my ears, my first instinct was to bolt. Instead, Ethan locked me tighter. Luna. His voice came out gravel rough. Hot breaths landed on my ear, then slid to the side of my neck. I tucked my chin to hide, but he sealed his mouth over mine before I could. Don't tease me. I don't want to take you here. 9-inch Ethan. I twisted, trying to shift my weight. The volcano felt ready to erupt, fierce and terrifying. In the brief gap when our lips parted, I finally managed a whisper. You say you don't want to touch me, so why keep kissing me? Ethan dipped his head until our foreheads touched. While our breaths tangled, he squeezed his eyes shut, fighting for control. Also, do you even know how to kiss? My lips are swollen. Luna. He still didn't open his eyes. The hands braced on my waist loosened a fraction. His fingers were long, powerful. They gouged into the small of my back through my hoodie, a pain that scorched and thrilled me at the same time. Ethan. I frowned and tried to pry his hands away. But he caught my fingers. Luna, keep still. This time I'll be gentler. The instant the words left him, his palms slid to the small of my back. He pressed me completely into his chest, no space left between us. The new kiss stretched long and slow, almost tender, until the very end, when he lost control and dove deep. Ethan. I tapped his shoulder, gulped air, then bit him. Luna. His voice cracked, raw. Every muscle in his body pulled taut. The heat in his palms felt hot enough to fuse my skin. Suddenly he buried his face in the curve of my neck and let out a low, muffled groan. The volcano erupted, then cooled. But within moments it threatened to blow again. Ethan eased me back and pulled me to my feet. His expression looked strange. A foreign scent lingered in the air. I couldn't help asking, Ethan, what just happened? His ears were crimson. Always aloof, now his eyes were steeped in raw desire. I'm taking a shower. He stood, eyes lowered, straightening the rucked hem of my hoodie. Get some sleep. Before I could answer, he strode into the bathroom. When the water started, I flopped onto his bed and rolled over, pressing the backs of my hands to my burning cheeks. I had a hazy idea of what had occurred. Ethan was tall, worked out, and carried lean muscle everywhere. His nose bridge was high, his jawline sharp, his fingers long and strong. He just didn't look like the type who would finish that fast. Could it be he'd never had a girlfriend before? Never even fooled around? The thought filled me with fizzy sweetness. Burrowing into his pillow, my fingers bumped something hard, a pearl stud. I recognized it at once, it was from my favorite pair. The day I'd visited Adrien's dorm I'd lost one and never found it, no matter how hard I searched. Ethan must have picked it up. I suddenly recalled those dreams where the same pearl stud had always been with him. After a long daze, I slipped the earring back beneath his pillow. The hairdryer shut off. Ethan stepped out in navy loungewear. Steam had left his skin pale as jade, his hair falling obediently, his usual chill aura softened. For some reason, he looked most docile. Just as I opened my mouth, muffled voices drifted in from the corridor. My heart lurched, I froze. One of those voices unmistakably belonged to Adrien. Ethan's face darkened, but he reacted faster. When the door swung open, my clothes were already stuffed in the wardrobe, my shoes kicked deep under the bed. Ethan was climbing under the covers. Only the nightlight glowed, the room was dim. Hidden beneath his quilt, I created no more than a small, barely noticeable rise. Unless Adrien came right up and stared, nothing looked odd. Lights out early? Adrien sounded curious. Got caught in the rain, my head hurts. Ethan's fingers, under the blanket, closed gently around my restless wrist. The bed was only 40 inches wide, and Ethan's long frame took up most of it. I was pressed full length against him, breathing softly across his waist. His abs felt rock hard under my cheek. All right. Adrien didn't switch the light on. He dropped into the desk chair and began dialing. No answers, irritation crackled off him. Ethan, you think Luna's doing this on purpose? Doing what? I told Sienna how I felt tonight, and then Luna pulls the stunt. The news flashed a bulletin, some college girl jumped into the river over love trouble. I thought it was her, ditched Sienna, and sped there like hell. Turned out to be someone else. I've called her all night, nothing. She's vanished. She's doing it on purpose to wreck my date. He slammed the phone on the desk. Face it, she'll probably cling to me for life. Maybe not. Ethan's quiet interjection surprised him. Maybe not? Man, you've seen how she's chased me the past 2 years. Even you're fed up with it, never gave her the time of day. At that, I nipped Ethan's waist through his t-shirt. He flinched, hand flying down to shield himself, fingers brushing my mouth. I lightly bit the tip of one. His whole body snapped taut, a low hiss slipped out. 11 What's wrong? Nothing, leg cramp. His voice sounded shredded, he coo. Get twice. Forget it, get some rest. I'll split. Adrien rose. I'll just hit the bathroom and go. He disappeared inside. A memory jabbed me. I'd rinsed my socks earlier, they now dangled on the towel rack. Sure enough, Adrien walked out wearing a knowing smirk. Ethan, you sneaky dog, got a girl in here, huh? Which beauty managed to drag the untouchable Ethan off his pedestal? Pet it out. Adrien sauntered closer. Hitting the sack this early, someone under the blanket? Adrien, Ethan warned, voice dropping. Fine, I'll stay right here. He stopped, gaze flicking to the bed. Got protection? I've got extras if you need one. Under the quilt, Ethan's hand slipped to the nape of my neck, pinning me motionless against him. I don't joke about girls like that, he said, ice in his tone. Oh, this is serious? Adrien lifted a brow. Ethan's jaw clenched, he swallowed. Yeah. Had the light been brighter, Adrien would have seen the strain written all over Ethan's face. Pinned as I was, the rest of me could still move. The quilt hid everything. I traced the ridges of his abs. Each stroke made the muscle jump. Feeling adventurous, I slid lower, fingertips brushing the V-line cut of his hips. Ethan jerked so hard I worried I'd gone too far. 12 Alright, I'm out, gonna crash somewhere else. Adrien's parting glance carried a smirk of contempt. So Ice King wasn't celibate after all, there was definitely a girl under those covers. Whatever, he and Ethan got along well enough, even if Adrien begrudged his popularity. The door clicked shut. I flung the blanket off. Ethan, I was suffocating. Leaning against the headboard, he studied me, eyes fathoms deep. The half-light carved shadows across his sharp features. For a second I just stared. Men look even better by lamplight. Luna. He rose, tucked a strand of messy hair behind my ear, then cupped my face. I'm not sick of you. I never gave you the cold shoulder. Don't let his words get to you. He let go and stepped back. Sleep. What abo? UTU? He picked up a pack of cigarettes and tilted his head toward the balcony. Just one smoke. Sleep. Perfect timing, I sneezed. He paused. I snagged his sleeve, frowning pitifully. I think I caught a cold, my head's pounding. After staring a beat, he said, let go. I'll get meds. When I'd swallowed the tablets, I still wouldn't release him. Ethan, I'm freezing, the blanket's too thin. This time he peeled my fingers off. Adrien's long gone, Luna. You don't have to do this anymore. 13-inch what's Adrien got to do with it? A self-mocking smile tugged at Ethan's mouth. Then why did you go to Riverside tonight? Finally the penny dropped. When Adrien mentioned the jump, Ethan assumed I'd gone there to kill myself. Calling Ethan, coming here, he thought it was all to spite Adrien. Honestly, I couldn't blame him. The last 2 years my adoptive parents kept tightening the screws. After their biological daughter came home, they tried to ship me back to my birth family. Only the prospect of a future marriage alliance made them let me stay. So Adrien had felt like a lifeline. We'd grown up together, surely there was some affection. I'd pinned every hope on him pulling me out of the muck. To everyone else, though, my actions screamed obsessed ex. And Ethan lived with him, had witnessed every so-called clingy scene. Ethan. I started to explain, but he was already on his feet. Set an alarm. Leave early. No one needs to see you here, it won't be good for you. Ethan, he didn't stop or look back. I clenched my teeth. But you kissed me all night. And then, you did that. Aren't you going to take responsibility? He froze. Turned. I sat on the bed, eyes red but tearless. I know you hate me. Whenever I came over you ignored me. Still, thank you for picking me up, for letting me stay. If you really want nothing more to do with me, I'll leave right now. I swung my legs off the mattress. Couldn't find my shoes, didn't care. I padded toward the door barefoot, head down, silent. Tears streaming. Luna. He caught my arm. I already said, I don't hate you. Then will you take responsibility? I jerked free and lifted my chin. You kissed me, held me, and everything else. Ethan's fingers closed over my jaw, and he kissed me, hard. Luna. Breath ragged, he trapped my lower lip. If you insist on messing with me, then mess all the way. I wrapped my arms around his lean waist and rose on tiptoe to meet the kiss. Deal. 14 During the October break I rode the bus to the city where my birth parents lived and stayed 3 days. When I left, the 2 worthless parasites who drank, gambled, whored, and never passed up a crime were already in handcuffs, riding to the station, staring at the cold, merciless blade of the law. Human trafficking, running gaming dens, coercing women into prostitution, every count, gift-wrapped by my nightmares, backed by ironclad evidence. I didn't have to wait for reincarnation or some next life. In this one I could cut the devils loose for good and watch them get exactly what they deserve. As the plane lifted I exhaled a long, sour breath. The biggest tumor on my heart had finally calcified. Only then did I feel genuinely free, genuinely light. When we touched down in the capital the first thing I did was text Ethan that I'd landed safely. He still had no idea what this trip was really about, thought I'd just taken a long weekend with my best friend. Coming to you tonight, I typed. Place all cleaned? Ethan had moved into an off-campus house. Senior year, almost no reason to crash in the dorms, and sharing one with Adrien had gotten awkward. All set, he answered. Want me to pick you up? Definitely. Luna. What? It's Adrien's birthday. He's throwing a party, told me to show, and bring my girlfriend. I'd forgotten, Adrien's birthday always lands on National Day break. Chien, want to come with me? I didn't reply right away, something inside tugged both directions. It wasn't that I feared going public with Ethan. It was knowing the Vance family would probably disown me soon, and when they did my sordid origins would be splashed across every group chat. I knew Ethan wouldn't flinch, but I couldn't stand the thought of people trashing him, just like in the dreams. They'd sneer that he'd thrown away family and future on some trashy fake. Still, Ethan had said it himself, I'd started this, I had to see it through. You can't have it both ways. Ethan. I drew a slow breath. Do you want me there? Yes. No hesitation. Then come get me. I'll go. Phone still in my hand, I glanced up at the terminal window and caught my reflection. I was smiling, brilliantly, stupidly. Chien, look outside. My heart missed a beat. When I spun around it felt like a movie shot in slow mo, the boarding gate receding, the crowd blurring, and there, only there, Ethan. I ditched my suitcase and sprinted. He didn't move except to open his arms. I crashed into him, he caught me dead solid, didn't even rock back a step. I hooked my arms around his neck, grinning up. Hey, big guy, killer core. He dropped his gaze, half smiling. Waist's not bad either, want a test drive? I poked the rigid slabs of muscle under his hoodie and whispered, only complaint? Kinda fast. Luna. He groaned, pride stung, eyes sparking with youthful defiance. You've got this coming. No crying uncle when I don't let up. That night Adrien had invited the usual crowd. Sienna had gone full bombshell, stunning enough to bruise egos. They sat together, picture perfect, while compliments floated around her like butterflies. She kept glancing at Adrien, but he seemed elsewhere. Adrien. She had to call him twice before he blinked. What's up? It's late, everyone's starving. Relax, we're still missing people. Who? Yeah, who's not here? Ethan, someone said. Oh, right, Luna. Luna isn't here either. Think she'll show? It's Adrien's party, Luna never misses. Adrien cut in, voice flat, I didn't invite her. Even if she came, she wouldn't get past the door. Adrien, don't be mad, today's your day, Sienna cooed, stroking his sleeve. Don't let some nobody spoil it, okay? Exactly. He looked at his girlfriend. Sienna was gorgeous, no doubt. Luna was pretty too, but not in that flashy, bombshell way. That's why Sienna had caught his eye instantly. Funny thing, once he'd nailed the chase, the shine wore off. For almost a month Luna hadn't waited outside the lecture hall, hadn't begged him to hit the dining hall, hadn't shadowed him everywhere. She'd evaporated. If they crossed paths on campus she'd spin on her heel and walk the other way. Adrien hated admitting it, but it grated. Just habit, he told himself, nothing more. He wouldn't, like Luna. Wouldn't enrage his family over a fake heiress. Still, tonight, if Luna cracked and came crawling, he wouldn't even demand an apology. Let her eyes redden, let a couple tears fall, and he'd toss her a corner of his world to stand in. The private dining room door banged open. Guess who I just saw? The newcomer wore a gossip grin aimed straight at Adrien. Spit it out. Come on, who? Don't tell us it's Luna. Bingo. Told ya, chick can't quit you, Adrien. Look at that, she caved tonight. Adrien stayed silent, but the storm cloud on his face lifted by half. Sienna's cheeks strained, she tugged his sleeve. Adrien, make her leave, please? She chased you forever, it grosses me out. Looking at her pout, Adrien suddenly found Sienna cuter than moments before. His mood ticked upward. Still, Luna needed a slap on the wrist for the recent cold shoulder. Forgiveness? Sure, but with a penalty. Fine, she can scram, he said, flicking her cheek. The door, still ajar, swung wide. Ethan strode in, voice low but ringing like struck steel. The room fell pin-drop silent. Everyone saw the girl behind him, Luna. Adrien didn't stand. The cocktail glass he'd been fondling shattered in his fist. Sienna shrieked, blood, Adrien, you're bleeding. Get lost. Adrien? You deaf? Scram. She blinked, wailed, and bolted. Smart guests slipped out after her. Crimson drooled from Adrien's fingers onto the carpet, but he only had eyes for Ethan. Finally he pointed at me. Ethan, mind explaining? Ethan's grip on my hand tightened, steady as oak. Explain what? Why you walked in with her. You told me to bring my girlfriend to your birthday bash, remember? He tucked me against him. Adrien looked ready to rip something apart, bloodied glass went flying. Ethan, you son of a bitch, Luna's mine. Yours how, girlfriend? Fiancé? Or is any girl who once liked you stamped your property forever? Adrien's eyes were crimson. You knew she wanted me and you still crawled into my bed? Nobody crawled anywhere. I squeezed Ethan's hand. I made the first move. And newsflash, I don't like you, haven't for a long time. The words tasted like freedom. Any girl with an ounce of pride wouldn't chase a guy who never respected her, who kept her on a leash for kicks. Maybe once, as kids, there'd been a hazy warmth, but the second my fake heiress mask slipped and he turned vicious, that ash scattered. Luna, what? Adrien barked a laugh. You nearly drowned yourself in the river for me, and now you claim you're over it? I never planned to die for you. That night at Riverside I just needed an excuse to make Ethan pick me up. He froze, then rasped, so the girl in Ethan's bed that night, was you? Yep, me. Enjoy your relationship, Adrien. I told you I'd stop haunting you, and I meant it, forever. I turned away and tugged Ethan. Take me home, wanna see our new place. Ethan didn't budge. His stare pinned Adrien, voice edged with razors. I don't ever want to hear anyone trash my girlfriend. Adrien, unraveling, sneered, Ethan, who the hell do you think you are? Ethan's smile was arctic. If you're unclear, go ask your daddy. Something in Adrien's face cracked. His gaze slid to me, ugly now. Luna, pretty sure Ethan doesn't know you're not a real Vance. Hiding something that fat? CLA. SSY. I'd braced for the bomb, but having it lobbed mid-room still stung, blood drained from my face. Ethan's hand turned cold in mine. Adrien beamed. Knew it, you lied to him. Once he finds out, he'll sprint. He wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole, Adrien, Ethan cut in, calm as split granite. He let go of me, rolled each sleeve with deliberate creases, then passed me his watch. I used to think you were just a player, gross, but not evil. Now I see you're also a gutter rat and a coward. He lunged, slamming Adrien against the wall. Adrien swung, Ethan buried a fist in his face. I'm nothing like you. I never wanted the Vance heiress or any heiress, I wanted Luna. Call her Luna, call her Zoe, call her anything, I'm in. Period. Adrien spat blood, sneering, but Luna's dirty, banged. Ethan's next punch silenced him. Adrien crumpled, clutching his gushing nose. I hauled Ethan back before murder entered the room. He rang a contact to clean up the mess, then wrapped an arm around me. Let's go home, Chien. At the car I stopped him. Ethan, can you believe it? What? I tilted my head to look up at him. He was in a charcoal shirt, cold and aloof, every inch the privileged aristocrat, and ridiculously handsome. The way he'd exploded in anger and punched someone just now. If the old me had seen that, I would have been terrified and run the other way. Tonight it only makes me feel indescribably safe. All those years I'd fought to grab hold of a lifeline, but everything I touched slipped through my fingers. The elders who once doted on me suddenly acted as if I were invisible. No beatings, no scolding, just that icy, patronizing distance. Enough to push any teenage girl to the edge. The boy I'd grown up with looked right through me, convinced I wasn't worth his time. My biological parents? A pair of money-grubbing monsters. I lived in daily dread that I'd be shipped back to them and lost for good. And I never knew, right up until the moment I died, practically, that one person Dee loved me all along in silence. Thank God none of that nightmare will ever play out for real. I didn't drive myself to ruin, stupidly trying to keep Adrien with my body. Adrien and me, nothing ever happened. Luna. Ethan cups my face and kisses me, hard. I clutch his sleeve, fingers tightening then loosening. Ethan. When he finally lets me breathe, my legs are jelly and I have to hang on to his waist. His mouth drifts to the side of my neck. Luna, I don't care about any of that. But hearing you say it still makes me happy. You know how guys can be, we're selfish about this stuff. I know, Ethan. I'm telling you because I won't let him splash mud on me. It's for you, yeah, but it's for me even more. I grin at that and burrow deeper into his trench coat. Ethan, let's go home. I'm freezing. Okay. He laces our fingers, tight, so tight, and that grip ends up lasting a lifetime. 21 Ethan and I hadn't gone fully public yet when I drove to the Vance family mansion and talked to the elders all afternoon. In the end, thanks to Grace, the Vance's real daughter, mediating, I took back legal custody of myself. From that day on, the Vance family and I were done. I picked the timing on purpose, I know that clan too well. If they caught wind of Ethan and me, they'd cling to the Caldwells like leeches. And I wasn't letting Ethan or his family get dragged into that sewer. When I stepped out, Vance looked seriously annoyed. Luna, this family raised you 16 years and spent millions on you. We haven't seen a dime back. My headspace is totally different now. They kept me like a jewel for 16 years, until their biological daughter showed up. Yes, the next few years were brutal, but I never went hungry or cold. Then there's Grace, who used to hate my guts. For some reason she flipped a switch. Actually, the whole fiasco, my forced withdrawal from Riverdale, being shipped to the biological parents I loathed, had Grace's fingerprints on it. Yet in the end she was the one who spoke up for me, who lifted the last weight off my heart and talked Vance out of plastering my ugly origin story across the tabloids. Nowadays I am Luna, free as the wind. Nothing and no one can tie me down. I'm content, ma'am. I bow to Vance, respectful to the last degree. I'll never forget the care you gave me. Pretty words, she snorts, eyes frosty. You couldn't even hang on to your childhood sweetheart. What future can a girl like you have? Forget it. Just leave. Looking at you gives me a headache. She waves me off. I don't bother explaining further, just shoot Grace a look. Mom, I'll walk Luna out. Grace's voice is calm, Vance's expression softens instantly. Hurry back, dinner's almost ready. Got it. Grace smiles, pulls me through the foyer, and out to the garden. Halfway down the path we stop in perfect sync. I look at her, she looks at me, and suddenly we both laugh. Big sis. I hug her gently. Thank you. The moment the word leaves my mouth, Grace murmurs, I'm sorry, Luna. We don't spell anything out, we don't have to. That apology is meant for the Luna in the nightmare we both remember. My eyes sting, hers spill over. Finally she squeezes my hands hard. Luna, this time you'd better be happy, crazy happy. I will, sis. You too. The debt of upbringing, I'll repay it to Grace in another form someday. She bore 16 years of hardship while I lived her privileged life. In the dream I resented her, but now every score is settled and erased. 22 when Ethan takes me to meet his parents, I'm a wreck, honestly. Caldwell turned Buddhist a few years ago for reasons nobody discusses. She never misses the first temple incense at dawn each new year. Don't freak out. Mom's mellow these days, and Dad does whatever Mom says. Ethan keeps reassuring me the whole ride, but the closer we get, the more my stomach knots. Ethan, can we do this another day? I'm scared. I clutch his sleeve and refuse to budge. Luna. He sighs. Mom's already coming down the steps. Sure enough, Caldwell is walking toward the car. I square my shoulders and follow him. Mom, this is Luna. Hello, Caldwell. I'm Luna. I hand her the gift I wrapped for her, trying not to shake. She takes it with a smile, but her gaze stays pinned on me. Even after we're inside, she keeps staring. Then she tows me upstairs to the study. Panicked, I glance back at Ethan. She pats my hand. Relax, sweetie. We girls need a little private chat. Over her shoulder she teases him, don't worry, I won't eat your fiancé. My face bursts into flames. Caldwell. She's beaming now, refusing to let go of my hand. Honey, look, just like I said, beautiful and adorable, right? Caldwell, a gentle, refined man, nods repeatedly. Absolutely. Pretty, sweet, clearly a good girl. I'm baffled, not sure what's happening. Caldwell's eyes redden even while she smiles. Luna, don't freak out, this'll sound absurd. For years I've had the exact same dream, over and over. In it, Ethan loves a girl so deeply he never marries, and dies utterly alone at 40-something. At first his dad and I laughed it off, but everything else in that dream started coming true. So I kept praying, kept fasting, anything to keep the ending from happening. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I kept thinking, if that girl really exists, I hope she'll stay with him. Today, seeing you, I know every prayer was worth it. Luna, you and Ethan, promise me you'll stick together. My vision is blurry long before she finishes. This world gave me garbage for birth parents, yet it also gives me a woman like her, desperate to protect her son. How did I ever deserve Ethan, deserve a family this good? Every hollow space the nightmare left is suddenly full. 23 we graduate, walk straight to City Hall, and sign the papers. The wedding is still being planned, Ethan and his parents want the works, I wanted quiet. The night after we officially became Mr. and Caldwell, I move into his place. While he showers, I fish the stray pearl stud I'd lost out from under his pillow. This time I don't put it back. I slip it into my ear, only the stud, nothing else. When he steps out, I'm in his bed, buried under his comforter, faking sleep. Luna? A damp kiss lands on my cheek. It tickles, my lashes flutter, but I keep my eyes shut. He chuckles softly, kisses me again, then lifts the blanket to climb in, and freezes. Luna. Warm bedside light spills over me, gilding every curve. The pearl glimmers through my hair, shadows shift across skin, pale swells brushed with soft crimson, white jade bowl holding ripe cherries. I'm shy at first, limbs stiff, but the look on his face melts every last knot of nerves. I sit up, fling myself at him, and hook my arms around his neck, whispering the same way I did that night in his dorm. Ethan, you like what you see? You're staring. Every muscle in his body locks. Heat keeps climbing until I swear his blood is about to boil. His Adam's apple jerks, the tendon along his throat stands out, sexy as hell. I turn my head, let my lips graze that tendon, then nip his Adam's apple, gently, playfully. The dam breaks. A volcano that slept 1,000 years erupts. He flips me under him in a heartbeat and kisses me, hard, deep, claiming. I feel as if I might dissolve. Luna. He says my name again and again, like a chant. At the very end he gentles, brushing my lips. If it hurts, bite me. I give a tiny hum, eyes closed. My nails rake down his back, my teeth leave crescents in his shoulder. It still hurts, enough to bring tears. Ethan. I blink up at him, a little lost. He looks frightening right now, and I assume he won't be able to stop. But he does, stops everything, and gathers me in. Arms around his waist, I remember the airport. Didn't you say that night that crying and begging wouldn't work on you? Desire still burns in his eyes, you can see how much control this is costing him. He hugs me so tightly his voice comes out hoarse, I couldn't bear to hurt you. Ethan. When did you start liking me? He won't answer, he only holds me closer. Playing mute? I tip my head, smiling. Fine, I won't say I love you either. His gaze snaps to mine. Under the raw hunger there's an ocean of devotion. Finally he whispers, the first second I saw you. Luna, I thought I'd die without ever letting you know. My heart aches in the sweetest way. It's okay, Ethan. We have the rest of our lives. Yeah. The rest of our lives. Our fingers link, I lift my face and he bends, kissing me softly. Ethan, I think it doesn't hurt anymore. So, want to continue? Soon the room fills with sounds that would make anyone blush, and they don't fade for the longest time. Tonight will be endless, and even more endless is the lifetime stretching ahead of us. Amid spring's rising tide, we trade whispered vows as deep as the sea. Thanks for listening to our story. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and share with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.